Woo. Okay. So we've talked about this before, where you have to find more than one thing to use in order to grow your business, right? So if you're going to use social media, you have to use a couple different aspects of it. You need to do parties, you need to do one-on-ones, you need to do messaging, you need to do all these things, you need to do events. This is going to help you grow your business. So this morning, I was talking to one of my ambassador friends, and she said, one of the things that Pam brought up on the Zoom this morning was that getting back to the basics, getting in front of people, because really this business is about selling yourself. It's not about selling a product. It's about selling yourself. People want to trust. They want to believe in you. They want to believe what you have to say. So while social media is amazing, if you can spend all day on social media, sending messages and adding new friends and all that stuff, but if it's not something that you can find the time to do, then you're probably going to have more luck by doing parties. So she used an example like Jade Hooper. Everybody knows who Jade Hooper is. She's a top 10 ambassador, and she has built her business solely on social media. And Pam said that if they changed things and she had to go and work her business solely through parties, her business would crumble, because she is not building those relationships. She's just basically creating turnover. She's basically enrolling so many people a month that some of them are sticking and some of them are getting to where she wants to be. But in the long run, you want to build relationships with people. And the best way to do that is by getting in front of them. And the best way by getting in front of them is going to parties and doing one-on-ones. We talked about this a lot at It Works You as well. And I also did a Zoom with Cami Dempsey, and that's going to be on the It Works Global YouTube page. We did a Zoom in regards to parties and all the different ways we can do parties. And I feel like that some people aren't understanding the concept of parties, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Parties shouldn't be difficult. They shouldn't be stressful. It shouldn't be something that you overthink. And trust me, I'm an overthinker. So when I started the business, my first party was 2 people showed up, and it was my mom and one of her friends. Neither of them wrapped, and neither of them became loyal customers. So I felt like, for me, parties weren't going to be my strong suit. That wasn't going to be something that I was going to really be good at. And excuse me. And the reason why is because I didn't feel confident enough to sit there and talk to a group of people about this product line. Even though I had been using the products as a loyal customer for 2 months, having to sit and do this presentation to people and answer questions that I may not know the answer to, it made me feel uncomfortable. And I realized right then and there that I was going to have to kind of spread things out. So instead of doing group parties, I just did a lot of one-on-ones. But I did the same things. I went there, I gave them samples, I let them try the different products, I talked to them. I just did it on a one-on-one basis where I was more comfortable rather than doing it into a group, rather than presenting to a group, until I built my confidence. And then I would go to a group. But I still feel like the strongest way for me to close somebody is getting in front of them. It's the strongest way, and it's the fastest way to close somebody. So if you want to spend your entire business messaging people online, that's fine. It's just going to take a lot longer to get these people to actually turn over and sign up, because they don't know you. There's no relationship there. There's no connection. It's just all through typing and messaging. So if you can get in front of people, and it's the same thing that I say when it's the same thing that I recommend when people ask me, how do you close distributors? If they're local to you and you can get in front of them, you are going to have a much higher success rate of closing them by meeting with them than you are just by going back and forth through messaging. So if face-to-face stuff isn't something that you are too comfortable with, you need to start practicing. And I remember when I first started, like anything that I would have to do, parties, conference calls, all that, I would practice in the mirror. I know it sounds super lame. And now that I'm actually saying the words, I'm like, okay, I can't believe you really did that. But it helps you build that confidence because you know what you're talking about. Like, you know the gist of how the business works. You have passion behind what you're doing. You just have to let that shine through to people. So when it comes to parties, when it comes to online parties, when it comes to in-person parties, when it comes to one-on-ones, it doesn't matter. You just have to sell yourself. You have to show people that they want to be a part of this business, whether it's because they love the products or because they have the opportunity to make money. Either one of those is going to resonate with people, okay? So for me, this is what I personally do. I have started doing virtual parties prior to in-person parties for, like, especially for launching new distributors. And this is why, is because, believe it or not, people still don't realize that we have so many products. They still can't get past the wrap, right? They've heard of the wrap, they know what it is, or they've seen it on Instagram or Facebook, but they don't know that we have like stuff like essential oils and ThermoFit and all these other products. So what I like to do, I like to start off with a virtual party, and the person that is hosting is obviously going to be my new distributor. I've done this with friends who want to host parties as well, so I still will start off with a virtual party. We'll go through the basics, same thing. We're going to do the giveaways. You're going to talk about all the products. Something that I've been doing and I've been encouraging my new people to do as well is going live in the virtual parties. I know Lisa Fuller had posted a YouTube video, I think not that long ago, of she does an entire virtual party through Facebook Live, through videos. She does it all live. So it's about 40 minutes long. So if you have time to go back and watch it, I highly recommend it. It's not something that you have to do, but you might be able to use some pointers and stuff that she's doing. So what I do is about an hour before the party starts, I will go live in this Facebook event. I'll introduce myself, talk a little bit about the company and the background of the company, where we kind of started, what we offer, what the company is really focused on. And then I will ask the host, whoever's hosting, especially if they're a new distributor, to go live about 10 minutes before the party starts, thanking everybody for coming and just sharing their why, why they started this business. Because a lot of people don't realize that people have, like a real why. There's real reasons why people do network marketing. There's real reasons why people invest so much time and effort into something like this. It's because they really need a way out, or they really want to change in their life. So I feel like by them kind of getting a little bit vulnerable, it opens the door for more people to actually support them. So going live in your virtual party is going to do huge things for you, because it also lets people see who you are, kind of get like a little bit of your personality, you know what I mean? Say something funny, make people laugh. One time I went live and I was driving to a meeting, you know what I mean? Like I had a meeting before a virtual party, and I was just like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm all over the place. And, even if you're busy, you can do this, because I'm on my way to a meeting and I'm doing a virtual party. So make it really realistic for people to relate to as well, because we're all busy. And that's usually the number one thing why people don't join, is because they don't feel like they have time. So, once the virtual party starts, it's the same thing. I have everybody check in. I go through the products. If you have never done a virtual party, I highly recommend getting with your sponsor or your upline to get one scheduled. It's really more of like a learning thing for you too. You can learn about the products. You'll be amazed how many things you don't actually know about the products until you attend a virtual party. I usually do 3 or 4 giveaways depending on how many people are attending. So I give away a wrap, I give away Greens on the Go, Choose, and Wow. Okay, so hold on, let me mute really quick. So these are things that I do throughout the party, okay? And so then at the end of the party, I let everybody know, like, hey, we're going to be doing a follow-up in-person party 3 days from now. So typically I like to schedule these things within 3 days of each other so people don't forget. It stays fresh on their mind. And in order for them to collect their prizes, they have to show up to that event. So that gets people there, especially when you have a new distributor that's being launched and they're, oh my God, nobody's showing up or nobody's coming. It doesn't matter if it's 2 people that show up. As long as people show up, I'm there. But these people have to show up to this party in order to get their prize. Now, obviously, if they're out of town, they're going to get their prize, no big deal. But I typically like to ask those people to host a party for for the distributor or for somebody that, in order for them to continue to support them. So that's just something that I've started doing that has actually worked out really well. I just did a launch party for one of my girls last weekend, and there were 3 prizes given. All 3 girls showed up to the party. All 3 girls became loyal customers. So it worked out really well because they wanted to try all the products anyways. They had learned about it in the virtual party. They were excited to sample them at the in-person party, and they were sold. It was just like a, 1, 2, 3, done deal. Now when you're at a party, okay, so these are the 3 best tips that I can give you at a party. 1, when you first walk in and you set all your stuff up, I recommend just bringing everything in a bag. If you have decorations and you have all this extra stuff, people aren't going to feel like they can relate to that. People aren't going to, the first thing that they're thinking is, I don't have money to spend on that stuff, for 1. And for 2, I'm not a good decorator. I couldn't do that. I'm not that creative. So you want to make it as simple as possible so that they can duplicate it, so they can feel like they can do this too, okay? And a tip that Cami Dempsey taught me on our Zoom, which I'm going to start doing this, and I'm not a huge party pad user, just because I've been around since before the party pad, so I just have always had my normal go-to. I know what I'm going to say throughout the presentation. I'm trying to find one, but I don't have one right by me. Is that what she does is when she actually goes to do the presentation, she has printed her notes from her back office. She has printed the notes from eSuite, and she tapes them inside her party pad, and she sits there and she literally reads what the notes say from the party pad. And the reason why she does this is because if people are sitting there looking at me like, okay, if she can do this, I can do this. If all I have to do is read these words from a party pad, I mean, who can't do that, right? It's all there for you. The information is all there for you. So all you have to do is read it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so brilliant. Black Diamond Cami Dempsey, you know what I mean? Keeping it as simple as possible. So that is something that I highly recommend you doing, especially if you're brand new and you're a little bit nervous. The party pad is a great guide for you to go through. And it's about the 3rd page when it talks about our different packages. That's typically the time that I go through our products and sample them, just to let them see the other products that we offer. So that's a good opportunity for you to do that as well. If you're going to have additional products, I recommend sampling at least 3 products at every party, because our loyal customer program is a 3-month commitment. So if they can find 3 products that they love, then they're going to want to become a loyal customer and get the 40% off. Okay, backtrack. So the 3 tips that I can give you. Number 1, when you come in, don't come in with buckets of stuff. 1 bag over my shoulder is all I bring. And that even has my wallet and all that stuff in it. So I don't even have my purse. I just throw everything in my It Works bag that I'm bringing, my before and after book, my stuff I'm going to sample, and my fab wrap. I mean, that's pretty much everything that I need. Throw it over my shoulder, walk in, set it up all up on the table. It takes me literally like 6.5 minutes. And people are always like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. I'm like, yeah, it's one of the reasons why I love this job, is because it's so simple and I don't have to carry all this stuff with me. 2, don't stand up and present. Never do a presentation. And the reason why we don't do that is because people are nervous. They don't like to talk in big groups in front of people. So what I do is, depending on where we're set up, so if we're set up in like the living room and all my stuff is on like a coffee table, I'll just sit down Indian style and go over everything. If we're sitting at a table and everything's set up at a table, I will sit down and just kind of talk to them as we go through everything. It's more of like a discussion and not so much like a presentation. They can ask questions throughout it. We laugh, we joke, we make fun of their faces when they try the orange greens, because nobody ever likes the orange greens. It's very rare that happens anyways. And so there's all these things that we do to make it fun and make it very comfortable for them. Also for them to answer questions. If you're like standing up and doing a presentation, people are less likely to ask questions because they're nervous about everybody else like looking at them. I mean, come on, we were all in school at one point. You never wanted to be the kid that rose your hand and asked a stupid question, right? And so that's how you just don't want people to feel like that. So yeah, so that's another tip that I have about in-person parties. And finally, my last tip that I always like to do is make conversation throughout the presentation. You know what I mean? I talk about like my kids, you know what I mean? I'm like, how many of you guys have kids? How old are they? Are they in sports? Like, make conversation with people and start building that relationship. Even if it's not necessarily for your personal business, but somebody on your team, if that person can relate to you and that person can look at you like, wow, I really trust this girl. I believe in everything she's saying. She's super confident. She knows what she's talking about. They're going to want to join just because of you. They're not even going to want to join because their friend joined. They're going to want to join because you have showed them that it could be fun and it could be something that they're really missing out on. You know, the FOMO that everybody talks about now, fear of missing out. It's like, that's how you want people to feel when they're at this party. Like, I feel like I'm missing out on all this opportunity, and I'm missing out on all these awesome relationships and all these things that they get to do together. So in order to get people to actually order at the party, something that I like to do is I like to include a product brochure. I like to give them a product brochure. Inside the product brochure is a loyal customer form and a distributor form. And as we're going through and sampling the products, I'm having them circle the products that they love, the products that they would be willing to try. And because of this, because at the end, when I'm done going over the products, I'll ask them, okay, so how many products did you circle? How many products do you want to try? And they're like, you know, like 8, 10, whatever. Hold on, sorry guys, I got to however many products they chose, right? 15. 30. Sometimes there are people who circle 30, and then you're like, yes, you're going to be my loyal customer for like 2 years. So then that way you know that you're going to keep somebody on for a long time. But this is what I tell them is hey, listen, awesome. So you want to try 8 different products, and I've got the best way for you to do that. You're going to become a loyal customer, and you're going to save 40% on my products. And they're like, oh my gosh, yes. How do I become a loyal customer? Being a loyal customer just means you buy 1 product a month for 3 months. There's no minimum dollar amount you have to spend, and there's no fee to sign up. You're also going to earn 10% back on your auto ship orders, which is super awesome. So you'll have credit to your account after your first order to use towards free products. And they're like, oh my God, yay, I'm so excited. And then I say, or do you think you know anybody that would be interested in trying these products? And they're like, yeah, oh my gosh, my sister would try this. Or as they're going through the product brochure, sometimes they're like, oh, my mom needs this, and my sister would love this. If they're saying that throughout, you know, your presentation or throughout the conversation, that in the back of your mind should be distributor, 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 distributor. I need to talk to them about becoming a distributor. And then I just simply say, like, you know, if you know anybody that would really want to try these products, you should probably just become a distributor, because, you know, the only difference between a distributor and a loyal customer is that we get paid. So rather than you sending people to me and me getting paid for it, you might as well start your own business and get paid for it yourself. It's really cool because eventually, if you get enough people, if you get enough customers, you can just get your product for free because your commission check is paying for your product. So even if you don't really want to work the business all that hard, you can at least get a few customers every month, and that is going to give you your product for free. And everybody is always like, oh yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's the way to go. That's the way to do it. So, and once again, I keep it simple. I don't tell people I'm a presidential diamond. I don't tell people how much money I make. And the only reason I don't is because people will look at me differently. Like, they'll look at me like, oh, well, I'm not like you. I can't do what you do. I can't, you know, I'm not as upbeat or outgoing as you are. And it's like, people don't realize that this was a long time coming. This took a lot of years and a lot of and a lot of trainings and a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that I said wrong in order to get to where I'm at, where I feel comfortable talking in front of people. I mean, I've been doing this business for almost 4 years. So gradually it's going to get better over time. But, you know, when I first started, I didn't have any confidence in what I was doing. So, I just, you know, you just have to be relatable to people. So if I went into a party and people can't afford, you know, greens on the go, like they can't afford to order greens every month, I'm not going to tell them how much money I make, because it's just not, it's not appropriate. It's not the right time for that. So I simply just tell them what the opportunity is available to them. You know what I mean? You have the opportunity to make as much money as you want. If $500 would change your life, then you need to sign now, because we have this awesome Ruby bonus going on where not only would you get $500 bonus, but you'd also be averaging about $5.99 a month in commission. So if that right there could change your life, then this is the opportunity and this is the time to join. So little things like that is really what is going to connect with people. And if people ask you how much you make, I mean, you can say, you know what I mean? Like if you're making a lot of money, you can say, you know, I make enough to pay my mortgage. Do you know what I mean? Or if you're not making a lot of money, it doesn't really even matter. What matters is what it's paying for. So if you're not, you know, if say you're an executive, right, you're averaging about $300 a month, and somebody says, well, how much money are you making? You can say, you know, well, I started wanting to make $500 a month, and I'm over halfway there, and it covers my groceries every week, and it covers my gas in my car, and that's really all I wanted. So I'm already doing, you know, I'm already on my way to where I want to be. But you know what I mean? Like, there's no time frame for this. There's no time frame to put on how much money you want to make. And I feel like as long as you can make that clear to people, like, you have as much time in the world. So if in 3 months you want to make $500 a month, that's awesome. We're going to do this. If in 3 months you want to make $10,000 a month, you know what I mean? Like, you better be willing to put 80 hours a week into this business, because that's what it's going to take. And you can be blunt like that with people. And that's how I am, because people are like, oh, how long till I can make $10,000 a month? Well, how much time you got, because how much time are you willing to put in this business? But just make it fun and make it entertaining and make it, don't be dull. You know what I mean? Don't sit there and act like you're holding a script and not build that connection with people, because that is ultimately what is going to make or break the deal at the end of the party. So if you walk into a party and your nerves are like, oh my God, they're through the roof, and you're kind of shaking and you're kind of nervous, you need to sit down, you need to take a drink of water, and you need to just start normal conversation, and don't dive right into your presentation. Ask them how they are, you know what I mean? Like, where do you guys live? Are you guys around here? You know what I mean? Like, how long have you known whoever's hosting? Those are the kind of things that are going to kind of break the ice for you, that are going to give you that confidence you need to just go through the motions of what you already know how to do. If you're brand new into this business, you should be having a party with your sponsor. Your sponsor should come out. They should bring all their product to sample, and they should be helping you close those first few customers. I typically like to do the first 2, maybe 3 parties for my new distributors, just to kind of get them off their feet. By that third party, if I'm showing up, they're running it, and I'm just basically there just to kind of help guide them. So at some point, you kind of just have to jump off the ledge and just dive in and do it. I highly recommend that if you have a team, if you're Ruby, if you're an executive, don't hesitate to do virtual parties for your team every week. You should be doing a virtual party every single week for your potentials, for their potentials. Just do it, because that is really what's going to get you a lot of interest, especially if you're one of these people that are working a lot on social media, where you're constantly adding people to your Facebook page. You should be constantly doing virtual parties and do giveaways. And, you know, it's simple things like giving away chews or giving away greens on the go. Even if you don't have a bunch of overstock of wraps, give away greens on the go and just choose one winner. That's okay. 3 days worth of greens on the go is going to go to whoever, you know, the person who comments on this post. But do something every week party-wise in order to grow your business. And then if you have a lot of local people that seem very interested, follow it up with an in-person wrap party. That's my best advice with you when it comes to going from virtual party to in-person party, virtual party to in-person party. And the more you do this, the more confident you're going to get when you talk about the business, when you talk about the opportunity. You have to talk about it all the time, and eventually you're just going to flow. Eventually, it's just going to be like second nature to you, where it's no big deal. There's no nerves. There's no stress. You're just going to go do your thing, and you're going to walk out of there with forms every single time. So I know I have a couple leaders on tonight. Let me scroll through really quick and see who I have. If anybody wants to give a few tips, feel free to do so. Where did everybody go? Trisha, I see that you're on. Do you want to give a couple tips?
Yeah, sure. I love everything you said. I feel like I stress this a lot with my team. The bringing one bag. I actually have this really cute, I found it at Ross. It's a rolly suitcase. It kind of rolls each way. So I just pack that. If it doesn't fit in that suitcase, I don't bring it. I have all sorts of fun, like frames, little chalkboard frames and mirrors for the wow. And I did that in the beginning and I just felt like it was just too much. So bless you. So I feel like that's really huge. Definitely keeping it so simple so that people can, you know, it's duplicatable. Also too, I actually just open up a catalog and I kind of run through my favorites. I don't go through every single thing. I felt like I did that in the beginning and it would lose people's interest really quickly. So I like to just sample or go over the products that are A, my favorite, but B, that we can sample out. So, you know, your protein, your greens, your chews, your wow. And then if they want to go and feel and touch like cleanser and exfoliating peel and stuff, I have that as well. But I'm going to try doing the party pad thing, but I just feel like if you just go through the catalog, not only does that help you familiarize yourself with the products for your own self, but use stories. Like I always say, oh, my husband uses the regular. He used to suffer from IBS and he really, you know, is regular now. Or what's that? Oh, I just be like silly and tell stories about what I love and how like the Confianza just really helped me in this way or that way. And I just incorporate my personal experience with the products. And then that way people are not like feeling you're just saying, yeah, use this, you got to use this, you know, always use your stories. And then another big one is always make them feel like the person who's doing it. I feel like even if just one person shows up, I always stress that like, this is so worth my time. If even one person comes, it's worth it for us, because my first launch party, nobody came. So I was really, really devastated, really. But then my next one, 10 people came. And so I always stress to my team, like, don't worry, even if one person comes, it's worth our time. We get to go over the products together and we're learning together, and we just have another one and it's no big deal. So that's really big. And just have fun. If you want to do, like, I love Carrie's idea. Carrie's idea once was like, we can do an early veggie tray water and everybody wrap type party, or we could do like a Friday night wine night, or we could do like a Sunday afternoon mimosa. And just depending on the group of people, just make it fun.
I totally agree. I think you have to make it fun. And, you know, the wine and facial party is a huge hit. Or if you have like I just met with a girl on my team, and she said all of her friends are pregnant, and she's like, you get all your girls together, have like mocktails, you know what I mean? And they can all do facials. You guys can do facials together, take silly pictures of yourselves, laugh at each other, because, you know, when you put a facial on, everybody looks scary. So it's just the perfect night to just have fun and just enjoy it. Enjoy each other, enjoy each other's company. So awesome. Thanks, Trisha. I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm going to have my sister-in-law, Sarah, give a few tips. She is like the party queen. So for those of you that don't know her story, she has basically built her business through strangers. So she works a lot of events, and from those events she books parties, and she does about 10 to 14 parties a month, and she typically signs on average about 15 loyal customers a month. So she's really, really good. I don't know where she just went because I don't see her anymore. Where'd she go? Do I see her? Am I missing her? Am I just not seeing her? She probably hopped off because she didn't want to tell. Oh, there you are. Okay. So she's going to share a couple tips on how she gets people to actually sign from a party. Because like I said, she deals with strictly strangers. So getting strangers to sign up is a lot harder than getting people you know. So Sarah, go ahead. Just a couple tips.
Okay. I love everyone's tips so far. That's pretty much everything that I do. My biggest tip is never forget your forms. Like, always bring forms. Don't, keep it in their hands to where they can go sign up at your website, whenever they get a chance to do that. Like, take that out of their hands, have the form in front of them. And how I explain the loyal customer program a little bit is I just say, like, oh, you would order something today and for the next 2 months. agree to purchase at least one thing. There's no minimum you have to spend. There's no anything like that. And that kind of seems to work better than for me saying 3 months, because they just feel like they're doing a 2-month commitment. And yeah, just have the form. I just have the form in front of me, and I just say, who's interested in becoming a loyal customer, you fill out the form today. And they usually just fill it out. So I don't know. What else?
I like the idea that you say, like, you're gonna order one thing today, and then you know what I mean? I feel like when you say that it's a 3-month commitment, people are like, oh my God, I gotta order today and for the next 3 months.
Never use auto ship. Never use the word auto ship. That's my biggest tip ever, is people freak out with the word auto ship. So you just say, you're going to order something today, and then for the next 2 months, agree to purchase at least one thing. Like, don't use the word auto ship, and people will start like responding a lot better to that. Also, I had another tip. Oh yeah. And just find a product you love. Like, I swear I sell more Confianza because I am like so passionate about it. And so when we get to like that part, I go through the brochure. When I get to the Confianza, like, I'm really passionate about it. And you'd be surprised how many people are stressed and anxious and want something like that. So that's like find something that you're like passionate about, and then it will translate, kind of.
Perfect.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to take those tips because I say 3-month commitment. So I'm going to start using buy one product today and then for the next 2 months. That's an awesome idea. It's probably awesome to use when you talk to people via messaging too, by saying, just try, we're going to order today and then for the next 2 months. That's a great idea. Thanks, Sarah. I appreciate that. Okay, Rainbow, I'm going to unmute you because I know you had some stuff that you wanted to talk about. So go ahead.
All right. Hi, Ash. Thanks for having me on. I'm glad you picked me to go last because I'm actually finishing up like a huge online party right now. So worked out good. Okay, so a couple of tips that I have is with parties, I like to make it really, really fun. So, I've been in the business like over 14 months, and every single party I've ever done in person, I always take raffle tickets with me. And prior to the event, I'll post in the event page, I have like a little thing that I found that's a picture that says that this is how you're going to earn raffle tickets, and then we're going to be doing giveaways for, greens and a body wrap and blah, blah, blah. So for the raffle ticket picture, it's like, if you buy a wrap, you get 1 ticket. If you bring a friend, you get a ticket. If you wear green, you get a ticket. If you book a party, at the party, you get 2 tickets. And then, like, if you, become an LC or become a DT, you can, like, give them some tickets or whatever if you want, but I know we're not really supposed to do that. So I feel like that gets people excited about coming because everybody loves raffles and everybody loves to win stuff. And then what I do when people show up, it's like, hi, how are you? And I'll do the whole, like, get to know them and make them feel really comfortable. And then it's like, oh my gosh, you wore green. Here's a raffle ticket for you. And they're like, oh, okay. And so they start to get excited. So then once everybody is kind of situated and we're going to start to talk about the products, I'll start to go through some of the products. And then I'll kind of like, after I do the wrap and the defining gel, I'll stop and I'll be like, okay, so you guys didn't know that you're also going to earn more product raffle tickets by paying attention. So I'm going to ask you guys, like, how many wraps is a full treatment? And then people will be like, oh, 4 if they were listening. So then they're going to win raffle tickets throughout the entire time I'm explaining because it gets them all to pay attention to what you're saying. Because they can get kind of boring when you're going through, like, all the products. So it's just a way that I found to make it really, really interactive and get people to pay attention because everyone's, like, fighting for those raffle tickets. So that's my number 1 tip. And then the second tip that I just recently started doing is the whole book a party. So when you have a party for someone and you have, like, 5 or 6 people there, you want to try to get all of those 5 or 6 people to also host a party. And even if they don't want to become a distributor, they can still earn a free wrap by hosting the next party. So if you book a party on the spot and schedule a party, then they're going to win raffle tickets to get, their free wrap or whatever. And then I'll wait till the very end after everyone is starting to, have their order forms to order products or sign up as a distributor, and then I'll do the giveaways and draw the raffle tickets. So everything else the girls talked about, totally love. And those are my 2 add-ons that I feel like will make your parties really, really fun and very interactive and keep people like super duper engaged.
That's so awesome. I love the raffle ticket idea. That is a really, really good idea. Huh. I'm going to have to bring that too. Looks like
Yeah, go to like, you can get them at like Party City. You can get like a huge roll of raffle tickets for like $10 at Party City.
Perfect. Awesome.
That's what I was just going to ask. Where can I get these raffle tickets? And a bunch of them. Costco?
Yeah, get them at Party City is the best because it's literally you get a roll of like 500 of them or something for like $10, and they've lasted me forever.
Okay, so I just had somebody ask a question that says, like, what do you do if somebody says, like, I don't get paid till Friday, you know, I'm going to work, you know, I have to, you know, I can't order today, but I don't get paid till I will when I get paid on Friday. What I typically have them do is still fill out the form. And on the top right-hand corner of the form, I just put the date that they are going to, that I can actually process their order. And I don't follow up with them beforehand. I just do it. I just process their order. If they tell me that they can't order until Friday the 15th, you know what I mean? Then when I get up on Friday the 15th, I'm processing that order. So you still, as much as possible, you want to get people to fill out those forms, especially when you're in person. That really is going to, you know, that's really what's going to get people to actually stay committed to the process. But, you know, I know a lot of people are very hesitant. You know, you're not going to win everybody over by saying fill out the form. There are going to be those people who argue and fight with you. That's okay. Don't even stress about that. But get the forms from the people who actually want to order. Focus on those people. Don't focus on the negative Nancy's. Bryn, did you have a question? Let me unmute you really quick. Go ahead. Hello, Bryn.
Okay.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
I do a table. I just
We can't hear you.
you.
We can't hear you, Bryn.
What
Hello?
happened? No?
You're breaking up really bad.
No.
Hello?
Is that her?
No.
No. I don't know.
Just type what you have to say, and then I will read it. I don't know what's going on. Can't hear you. Okay, so Ashley Brown says that she also tries and highlights the product on the LC forms that she plans to sample at the parties before she hands the forms out, so that these are the things that we're going to cover, so that when they go through their forms, they're already highlighted, the ones that they've already sampled. That's a great idea. Thanks, Ashley, for that. The forms are in eSuite. They're in your back office. For anybody that wants to, that's asking about that. Okay, Carrie, do you have a tip or two that you can share with everybody? I have to run and grab my charger for my computer, so I'm not running away. But Carrie, go ahead. Share 1 or 2 tips what you do for parties.
Okay, so hold on, let me turn off my TV. So one thing that I learned that really helped was Lisa K. Fuller's idea. So what she did is, I don't know if you guys heard her at the training that we did in Mesa when she talked about it, but basically everyone that comes to the party, she has them get out their phones. So I do this as well. I just basically tell everyone, hey, everyone get out your phones, get on Facebook. So everyone logs into their Facebook, and I have them type something simple like, I'm trying that crazy rap thing right now, or hey, I'm about to put a rap on, or I'm about to try this at a party, greens, whatever it is that they're trying, and whoever gets the most likes wins a rap, or whoever gets the most people that comments on it wins a rap. So basically you're getting that out into these potentials networks, where basically you can get them to start commenting, and you can start helping them follow up as well. And if they see that people start liking their stuff, they might be interested in becoming a distributor. And you can right then and there within that hour be like, see how easy it is to post and how many people like and how many people comment, and, you know, kind of once you're done with the party, talk about them becoming a distributor and how they could so easily get 4 loyal customers and get their, you know, fast start qualified. Used to be the 120, basically your wrap rewards, all that good stuff. So I do that, and that works
Carrie,
really.
will you tell me exactly how you say that? Because that's a really good idea. But how do I say? Do you wait till everybody's sitting down and then you'd be like?
So like
okay.
right before you start the party, hey guys, right before we start, everyone log into your Facebook real quick. Usually everyone will have their phone right there, and they're either already on it or they can get on it real quick. And then you just make up something, whatever sounds best from you. From what I say, I just basically say, hey guys, can everyone log in your Facebook real quick and just do a quick post, either a quick selfie. If they're not comfortable with this selfie, then they can take a picture of the party, they can take a picture of the product, or they can just simply write, hey, I'm about to try that crazy wrap thing. Or
And then like maybe hashtag something of us all the same or whatever. But does everybody normally do that, or do they tell you no ever?
I've never had someone tell me no yet, but
okay, I'm gonna try that.
I don't usually let them tell me no. But I mean, if someone says no, I would just be like, okay, that's okay, whatever. And if one person says no, no big deal. But, and then the other thing is that I do that obviously we've kind of all talked about, I never stand up at a party. I always sit down Indian style, usually take my shoes off on the carpet. Like, and I got that from Ashley Smith. Like you just kind of walk in, and cause I pretty much watched her and Ashley Mergel do parties. And I just, again, kind of go over the catalog, go over my favorite things. I always have a catalog right in front of me. What Sarah said, make sure you have your forms. I have clipboards. I have a whole bunch of clipboards and a whole bunch of pens. You can get all this stuff at the dollar store. And I bring my clipboards with the form already on it and ready to go, and I hand them the pen. That's another thing Lisa K. Fuller said, is hand them the pen when they're going to sign up. And like basically like you're like starting to fill it out with them. And I've even told people before, I've been like, hey, can I start filling it out for you? What's your name? What's your phone? Because sometimes people will have a baby in their hand, or they're, you know, they're on their phone or whatever. And I'll just be like, hey, I can start filling it out for you. Like, get the ball rolling. Get the pen in their hand and get the ball rolling. McKinley, not right now. Sorry. Just 1 second, babe. Mommy's talking. Okay, you can sit here. Okay. She'll just do it. So, okay, but you have to be quiet. Okay, but you have to be quiet. Okay, but you have to be quiet. Where's your father? This always happens to me. So anyways, and I never, ever, and I know some people have to, but if you have a choice of whether to bring your children or not, I never bring my kids to parties for this reason, because they might be distracting to other people or to yourself. So I don't bring my kids with me. But yeah, again, getting the ball rolling for them, like going over the product with them. McKinley, stop it.
I want to see.
Okay, you can see. Right there in your hand, you can basically like get the order form, get the pen, and kind of talk to them about what they're wanting to use. Make sure you ask if anyone has any questions. So when you're done with the party, after you've gone over, McKinley, I'm talking on a meeting. When you're done with the party, make sure you ask if anyone has any questions, because some people will be like they won't tell you that they have a question, but they may not want to order the greens because they want to know if they're gluten-free, or they want to know. And those are things why people will delay and not sign up on the spot, because they have questions and they don't answer them, or they feel like, you know, they don't know a certain thing or whatever. So you're going to have to make sure that you kind of feel people's personalities out. So once you kind of feel out someone's personality, make sure you gear your party towards those people. And like, because I've done parties for really young girls, so obviously you're not going to talk about how they want to stay home with their kids, you know, and so you have to kind of gear your party towards the type of people that are there. So
Awesome.
Thank
you, Carrie.
Right.
And McKinley. She had some good tips in there too. Okay, so so something Sabrina had told me earlier that she does as well is she says she sits there with like a sign-in sheet for the people who actually want to wrap, so it doesn't make it super awkward when you're like, okay, who wants to wrap? And everybody's kind of like, no, I don't want to wrap. At least you have that sign-in sheet where you can kind of call them one by one, where everybody's always going to be wrapped privately. You want to make sure that you do that in a bathroom or a bedroom. You don't want to do it publicly. A tip that I have is send private messages to people. Don't just invite them, okay? So you have to go through and actually take the time to message people, whether it's a virtual party or an in-person party. Because I don't know about you guys, but I get invited to so many things on Facebook now, and I don't even look at them half the time, to be honest. Like, it's just kind of just goes into my events, and if I scroll through my events, I'll see what's in there. But like, I get invited to so many things. So send people private messages and just say, hey, you know, I just invited you to this online event. I've started this new business venture. I'd love your support. You know, you have a chance to win some free stuff, and then you can learn about the products. That's all you have to say. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll go look for it. Same thing with in-person party. Hey, you know what I mean? Like, and typically what I like to do for an in-person party is I typically like to not have more than like 6 people at a party, because then it becomes way too long. You want to keep your parties at an hour and 15 minutes at the most, because people don't have time to sit at somebody's house for 3 hours, right? If they want to stay after and hang out, that's totally fine. But you want to make sure that you're covering the basics and the core of the information within that first hour. But it's the same thing with an in-person party. You want to send them a private message, and typically if you're sending it to 10 or 15 people only that you're inviting, you can make it sound like it's a super exclusive party. Like, hey, I've only been invited to, you know, I've only been asked to invite 15 people. You're one of them. I would love for you to be there and support me. You can sample all the products that you learn about in the virtual party, blah, 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 blah. But if you kind of make it like it's an exclusive thing, they're more likely to show up as well. But making sure it's you know, it goes back to building relationships. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that is what you're doing. You are building relationships. So you need to put on your happy face. It doesn't matter how bad of a morning you had or how bad of a weekend you had. You need to put on your happy face. You need to go there excited. You need to share your passion for these products and for this opportunity. That is what is going to bring you more business. It is not going to be any product. It is not going to be knowledge. It is going to be you, 100% you. Go there, have fun. Have fun. That is the key to all of this. Have fun. If you're getting up in the morning like, oh my God, I have a party today, you're probably not going to close anybody at your party. I'm not lying to you. I'm not kidding you, because that mentality is you're already setting yourself up for failure. You should be like, sweet, I have a party today. I can't wait to share these products with new people. Like, that's how you should, that's how your thought process should be. And if it's not, you got to switch it. So, I think that's like all the tips I have. Do any other of you leaders or anybody else at all, do you have anything that you could share that works really well for you? You know, we're always up for, ooh, Sam, where are you? Let me find you. Samantha Marie. Sam, I can't find you. You're gonna have to, oh, there you are. Hi.
How are you?
Go ahead. You can talk now.
Okay, good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi. Okay, so I wanted to say something, just one thing about it, a couple of the parties that I've done, and I tell my team this too, is there is not one party that's going to be the same as another party. You know, every single party is different. And one second. And I've never used the party pad, just like you too, Ashley. I kind of go with it, and I adjust the parties according to the people that are there. So I think that that's really important, to be able to kind of read the people that you're hanging out with. If you're going too slow, if you're going too fast, if they seem involved, like those types of things. So I think just making sure, you know, that, sorry, I just sneezed. Just making sure that you are reading everybody and understanding like what exactly they're wanting from the parties, if that makes sense.
That totally makes sense. Totally. Because you can tell, like, when you're passing around greens, you know what I mean? Everybody's like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get my fruits and veggies. You know, you can definitely tell. And I'm a super skimmer. Like, so the products like, I'm trying to think, like the products like our It's Vital and like our protein or the weight loss bars, I don't really spend much time on that, because I really want to focus on the products that I feel like are going to be really relatable to people. Like Relief is a big one for me. I sell a lot of Relief. I don't even use Relief, but I sell a lot of it because it has such great benefits for people. The Confianza is another one. The New You is a great one. I sell a ton of ThermoFit. ThermoFit is like, whew, I sell a ton of it. And ProFit, believe it or not, I sell so much ProFit at parties. There was one party that I did that I I sold like 3 ultimate packs, and the ultimate packs aren't even in the product brochure because it's like $279. So, but it includes the ProFit and a bunch of other things. So people really, really want it. And I really feel like if you can sample ProFit at a party, they're going to order it because it is so good. And they're always blown away that you can just mix the ProFit with almond milk and it tastes amazing. You don't have to add a bunch of extra stuff with, which is what you have to do with a lot of protein shakes. Okay, Trisha McDonald said she tries to play a game and give raffle tickets throughout to keep them engaged as well. So a lot of these things where you guys can do, something that I like to do is I always like to sample orange greens and berry greens. And I'm always like, okay, who picks? There's always like one person out of the group that loves the orange, always. And everybody's always like, oh my God, how could you love the orange greens? But it's just kind of a little something fun that we do. And Krista said she got lime green raffle tickets at the dollar store. I'm going to need to do that because mine are orange, which is my favorite color, but doesn't really go well with a wrap party. Okay, so Trisha's asking, how do you word the facial wine party? Like, how do you say that they can purchase a facial wrap during the party? So for this, what I like to do is, I just like to tell people like, hey, I got these awesome facial wraps in. They work like the body wraps where they're going to tighten your skin, but we can actually enjoy some cocktails. So let me know if you want to try. They're $25. We can all get together. I'll bring some drinks and we can just kind of hang out. I would just say something like that. If it's somebody hosting it for you, I typically like to give it to them for free. Like, so if one of your girlfriends wants to host a facial party, I'll just tell her, listen, tell your friends that it's $25, but I'll give you one for free. But yeah, always charge people for their products. You know what I mean? Like, always charge people for their wraps, because the second you start giving everything away for free is the second that you put, I don't even know what the word I am trying to use, but the second you make our products feel like they're not good enough to be paid for. So you need to make sure that everybody's paying always $25 for a facial wrap. Occasionally, if they get a lot of people there, I'll do $20 for a facial wrap, but I'm at least going to make some profit off of the wraps. So yes. All right, anybody else? Does anybody else have any questions or advice, anything?
I was going to say one last thing was when I start, I like to tell my story and introduce myself that way. Like, I just started this business because of this, and, I really felt like it did this and this and this for me, and then I start. I feel like it really helps me break the ice.
Yeah, you definitely want to introduce yourself when you get there, especially if you're in a room full of people you don't know.
And tell them what you like about it, like why you like the business and everything it's done for you, kind of thing.
Right. And something that I like to do too is if people are hesitant to wrap, you know what I mean? Like, I've been to wrap parties and people are like, oh, nobody wants to wrap, but they want to come try the products. I will actually talk about the wrap first and go over like what the wrap does and explain that it's not a weight loss product. This helps people lean more towards trying the wrap than not trying the wrap. So I'll kind of just go in, just a brief description. I know a lot of people think that this wrap is for weight loss. It's actually not for weight loss. It's a skin treatment. So it's great for cellulite, stretch marks, varicose veins. If you've had kids, if you've lost weight, if you've gained weight and lost weight, it's going to help with all of these issues that you may have. You can wrap anywhere from the neck down. So we can wrap your thighs, you can wrap your arms. It's $25. You're going to be sitting here anyways. You might as well get tightened and toned in 45 minutes. Who's interested? And just by saying stuff like that, by going over that, people will always raise their hand and say, all right, I'll try it. Fine, okay, I'll try it. Fine. Even though they act like they don't want to, they really want to. Tess, yes. Do you have some advice or do you have a question?
I have a question.
Sure.
After you've made me laugh, that was so funny because everybody wants to try it. They just don't want to admit it.
We'll do it.
So I have a question. If you don't have a lot of events scheduled, so obviously that's a great, easy way to schedule parties. Every party I've scheduled outside of my launch party and getting, I've obviously harassed every family member I know into having a party at this point in my business. How do you go about when you're talking to people or strangers or somebody that's new in a relationship, I don't know, or just even new friends or whatever, to get them to do a party? What do you do? or anybody else on the call, as a matter of fact, that has advice for that?
Typically with strangers, I mean, it's going to take a little bit of time. Typically the people that I'm adding on Facebook, they're not local to me. So I will just ask them if they want to get involved in a virtual party. So it's just like, I'll be like, I don't know if you see what I post, what I do, but I'm doing a free giveaway tonight and I give away lots of products. Would you be interested in joining? And they always say yes. You know what I mean? They're always going to say yes to join the party because they want to do a free giveaway. So once they've joined the party, and they learn all about this stuff, I'll follow back up and be like, so what'd you think? You know what I mean? Like, would you be interested in hosting your own party and inviting your own friends? If you want to do that, I'll give you a free wrap.
Nice.
That's typically what I do, but most of the stuff that I do in person are launch parties for new distributors. So, but what you really want your distributors to focus on is booking parties from those parties, like Rainbow said. Like, if you get a party, like if you book a party, if you book a party from a party, you can go into a raffle for, whatever, a free product, a free bottle of Fat Fighters or Greens on the Go or a free wrap. That will tend to get people more interested in what as well. But by the end of the party, especially if there's like 6 people there, you want to try to get all 6 people to book a party or at least 3 people to book a party. And I always just try to make people understand what they're doing it for. You know what I mean? You're not doing it for me, but you're supporting your friend. You're supporting this person's business venture. And when you say that, it seems to go over much, much better than, hey, just throw me a wrap party. You know what I mean? Like, would anybody be interested in hosting their own party? You get free product. We kind of do the same thing. You get free samples, inviting your friends, your friends and family over. And this would just do so much. This would be so supportive for so-and-so's business venture. If it's not something that you're interested in, she would really appreciate it. Just little things like that. But once again, you know what I mean? Like, don't go into so much detail with it. But every party that you host, you should be trying to book another party.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Well, I appreciate you all being on tonight. And like I said, this is recorded, so I will post it into the group page.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And, next Wednesday, I'm not sure what we're going to cover yet, but it'll be something good, I'm sure. Maybe eSuite. I know we talked about that last week, so I know everybody's learning about eSuite and doing an eSuite training, so maybe we'll get that covered next week. So you guys all have a great night, and I'll chat with you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.